Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jimmy and this is Patriots Glow. And in today's video, I'm gonna show you a super simple, easy woodworking project that anybody can do and sell on their Etsy shop or sell at their local booths or on Marketplace. Now, this is one of my best-selling projects that I have ever made and one of the first projects that I have ever made. Now, like I said, this is probably one of my best-selling projects that has not made me a multi-billionaire. So I will show you guys how to go ahead and make these. I have sold a lot of them. Holiday season is probably the best time to sell these, but I actually just made one of these for a customer. So I did want to go ahead and show you how to make these. And I've made so many of them, I actually had to raise the price of it because they get kind of annoying to make so many of them. But I will go ahead and show you these. Now, I want to put a disclaimer out here that they are slightly bigger. So to ship them, it is a little bit more difficult to ship them out. You will have to get like specialized boxes. And that is actually the real reasoning that I did not continue to want to make them to ship them, because shipping them is kind of a pain in the behind. So if you guys stick around, we're going to go ahead and jump right into making these, and let's go ahead and jump into it. You guys are going to want to have a 1x12 by 8 feet and a 1x4 by 8 feet, or like a 1x2 or a 1x3. You guys can go ahead, and it just has to be a little bit of a raised like a 1x2 or a 1x4. So if you guys go ahead and stick around, we'll go ahead and get into that. Thanks a lot. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so for this portion of the video, we're going to do this a little bit differently. Normally, I would show you all of the cuts that I'm making and go over what I cut, how many cuts I made, and the lengths, but for some reason, I went ahead and deleted that with a bunch of different cuts that I was doing on a different video. So let's go ahead and go over what we did here. We have our 1x12s that we did cut out, and we cut those at a length of 30 inches per board, and we cut out 2 of those boards right here, and we ended up gluing those together, and this is what we ended up with. Now, obviously, we do show the sanding process on here in a little bit, but we end up sanding this down, making sure everything is nice and sanded and nice, flat, and level. So that portion right here is what we've got going on for this, and this is what you'll end up with. Now, you can go ahead and buy perfectly good boards just like this, but you will spend a little bit more money to buy boards that are already this size, but they will be a lot probably better condition than what you might be able to make yourself, well, or that I can make myself. But there are a lot better woodworkers out there than me. So this is what I have, and this is where you'll go from there. Now, from there, you will also need 2 boards with your 1x4s cut at 22 inches from the long ends, but you will put 45-degree cuts on those. And then you will also need 2 boards cut at 30 inches with 45-degree angles on those as well. So once you have those miters cut on those boards, you will come back over and I will show you, because there are a bunch of different handles that you can put on these and a bunch of different designs. It is entirely up to you, but there are a few caveats, however you want to say it, to these boards, because these boards are a little bit different than doing electric stoves, because you want to leave some type of ventilation in there so that things can escape, gases can escape. So it is entirely up to you how you want to do these. Sometimes you can put handles on the top for gases to escape. You can put ventilation holes, all sorts of different ways to make these. That is entirely up to you how you do this. So we will go ahead and show you one process And one way to put handles on this so that you can grip it, pick it up, because if it's laying on top, you have to pick it up somehow. So let's go ahead and get to that. I'll show you how I'm gonna go ahead and cut these out. Let's go ahead and get back into it. Okay, so for the best explanation is you want to start from your lower grits, work your way higher, make sure it's sanded as smooth as possible, but you want to make sure all that glue is gone from that glue point. If you are doing this yourself and gluing your two boards together, you just want to make sure that is as flat as possible. But when you glue those together, you want to make sure everything is flat. Now, for your two sides, you are going to want to tape these together. If you're not actually putting handle hardware on here, you're going to want to make sure that your handles are going to be exactly the same across both sides. So I actually tape mine together, mark out where my handles are going to be, put them about 4 inches distance from each other, and then cut those out. It is entirely up to you how they need to be, but I actually mark them out and then draw mine on. You can take exact measurements, draw whatever shape you want, however you actually want those to be, and then just cut them out or however you'd like them. But I just bring a jigsaw over and then cut them out, and then just work on it from there how you want these to be. Mine turn out pretty good every time that I do them. So this works out. Saves you some money from not having to put handle hardware on, which is just another way to keep the price down on making your product. I do come through and start to try to sand down the insides of that, but I end up breaking it apart and then sanding everything down after that. Now, just make sure while you're doing all of this, make sure that your handles are actually perpendicular from each other, because you don't want your handles actually going the opposite direction from each other the way that they feel. You want the feeling and the texture to go the same exact way when you're grabbing those handles and picking them up with the noodle board, okay? So I go ahead and come back through, sand all of the sides on, because we are about to start attaching everything to the actual main top of the board here in a second. That leads us right into gluing everything up to the main board, and everything should line up perfectly fine. What I end up doing is bringing some smaller clamps over to the edge of the table, starting to clamp everything up, and all I do is use a couple of clamps to get my first starting positions up, lining those up with the edge, because this glue, since it is such a small clamping surface, these will slide around. So I end up putting brad nails in to hold those together. Now, something I will say, using a brad nailer for this does leave little divots, little holes on the tops. If you want, you can use a pin nailer and it will be harder to see those holes. But if you do end up using a brad nailer, which holds those together better, you can come back through and use some wood filler. There are really good wood fillers out there. I can link some down in the description box below. The wood fillers nowadays, they stain really well. You don't even notice that they're there. I end up using wood fillers so that you don't even see the brad nails or where those brad nails went into place. It's a seamless transition, so it looks really nice. You don't even end up seeing that there were brad nails even used. But all you do is you run about 8 to 10 brad nails into the sides of those, and then you'll end up doing that for all of the sides. But that's all I end up doing, is putting those sides on, putting a few clamps on there to hold it together, throwing the brad nails in, and then by the time it all glues up together and that glue sets, that glue will be way stronger than that wood ever was. Now, at some point, what I do not catch on camera, I do end up attaching all of these to the top of the board. But after I attach these to the top of the board, I go through and I actually attach them to each other as well. So I do brad nail the sides to each other, and I put wood glue on those as well. So I do cover up all of these brad nails with wood glue. You just don't actually see me do that on camera, but it does end up happening. I do fill all of the holes with wood glue. That is something that happens. You just don't get to see it on camera. So keep that in mind, that that is something that you may have to do, but you don't absolutely have to do it either, because I know there are a few projects that I do not fill with wood glue and it looks perfectly fine and you don't actually notice the brad nail holes, but that is a style choice completely on you. Now, what you actually see me doing right here is punching a couple of holes here, and I'm going to drill a couple of holes because we need to make some vent slots or vent holes, because this is going to go on top of a gas stovetop. And with that being said, you need to make sure that there is proper ventilation, and 3 holes on both sides should be enough. You can put more if you want, but that is something that you need to make sure that you add. It is entirely up to you how many you want to add, but make sure that you do put something on there. I do know big companies that make them don't actually put vent slots on them, or a lot of companies don't put vent slots on them, but I recommend that you do put them just for safety purposes. And we are not big companies, so you want that safety feature on there just in case. Now, obviously, I come back through with Mission Oak because that is my favorite, and I stain everything up. They didn't have a stain preference, so I chose Mission Oak and put that on there. Now, I am on a spilling spree, so right there in the left-hand side of the screen, I'm just staining away, and I didn't pay any attention. And we're going to go ahead and make a little move here, and bam, there goes stain all over the floor. But you know what? Can't cry over spilled milk. Just pick it up and start using the stain right off the floor. Luckily, we just swept up the floors, and we'll go ahead and use that stain right off the floor. So we are going to go ahead and finish up the staining process and clean up our mess. Then we are going to put a protective coating all over this and wrap up the project for the day and go over pricing. Okay, so there you go. After an eternity of struggle getting this project knocked out and staining my floor and pouring coffee all over the place today, I went ahead and finished up this project, but I wanted to go ahead and show you. So these are called noodle boards. They are normally designed and made so that you can have more counter space on. They are normally made to create more counter space for smaller kitchens. Back in the day, they would be used to make noodles on, but nowadays they are normally just created so that you can have more counter space. Now, pricing wise, I normally price mine right around $140 to $160. This is the first gas stove top cover that I've made. I normally make electric top ones, and I normally, like I said, price mine at about $160. Sometimes more than that, depending on if they need custom sizes, things of that nature. And I also do custom engravings as well, and sometimes it prices higher than that. Now, for this, the pricing that I have seen online on Etsy, these can range all the way from $150 to $250 and higher. So however you guys end up pricing these is entirely up to you, but I would probably, for something like this, stick in the $120 to $140 range. That is a really good price. That is a really good return on investment, and you'll be able to move these relatively quick. At $120, they'll move really nicely, or $125, somewhere around there. Because you're looking at, with the price of your brad nails, glue, and material, you're looking at roughly $20 to $30 in that, and then selling it for somewhere around $120, $100 profit to $90 worth of profit. That's pretty good. So, all right, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and if you do hit that like button, hit that hype button. It really helps the channel out. I appreciate it. And like always, you guys are the foundation that this channel is built on. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I hope to catch you in the next video.